All right, everyone. So we have another video here from Swaikage, and this one was mentioned to me by someone in the comments. If I'm forgetting your name, I do apologize for that, but I want to thank you for letting me know about this video where he is apparently going to rank every reanimation from weakest to strongest. Now, this one should be very interesting. Now, the strongest Edo Tensei that I can think of is, of course, you've got Hashirama, you've got Tobirama, Minato, Hiruzen, the four Kage, of course, that Orochimaru brought back. And then, of course, you've got Itachi, who was able to compete with KCM1 Naruto, which would make him pretty damn strong. And then, of course, you've got Nagato, who was just... I mean, he basically... Like, if it wasn't for Itachi, he would have taken out both Naruto and Killer Bee, the two strongest Jinchuriki, since they have the two strongest tailed beasts. He pretty much would have taken him out right then and there if Itachi hadn't gotten involved. So... I mean, that makes him pretty damn strong, especially with the mastery that he showed over all the Rinnegan abilities. So those are, I think, the strongest that I can think of. And of course, oh, we can't forget about Madara Uchiha. Of course, you got to put him up there. So let's go ahead and watch this video. Although if I had to say the two strongest, I would say it's Hashirama and Madara. I would say those two are the strongest reanimations that we've seen. Alright, so let's go ahead and watch this video, guys. As always, though, before we get into the video, I have to remind you that if you like what you see here, and if you want to support the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and make sure to like the video, or dislike if you didn't like it. You can go ahead, I'm not going to stop you. Also, make sure to hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I post a brand new video, because we know that YouTube's notification system is incredibly broken. I don't know why they haven't fixed it yet. So make sure you've got the bell icon, or make sure you click on the bell icon and make sure to turn on all notifications if you really want to know whenever I post a new video, or if you want to make sure YouTube notifies you that I have a new video out on my channel. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, as well as if you have any recommendations, just let me know about them there. But don't leave a link to them, because YouTube does this thing where they erase links. I think the reason why they do that is because so many people have been leaving, you know, bots are leaving these like links to websites that sort of allow them to, you know, mess with YouTube channels. So I think they put in this feature where they kind of erase comments that have links to, you know, just avoid anything. So just tell me the name of the video and the channel where I can find it, so YouTube doesn't erase it. All right, let's go ahead and watch this video.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Swaikage here,
and before one more thing before we continue, someone did mention to me another video that Swag did with the Masked Man. Now I do know about his channel, but I did watch some of his videos, but he apparently made a video that's similar to this, where they rank either it was every Edo Tensei or every Akatsuki member, but instead of from a power scaling perspective, they do it more from a narrative perspective. So we are going to react to that, so look forward to that.
Today, I'm doing something, so I think this is going to be fun, even though some of you might find it a bit redundant, because I did just a few months ago rank every Naruto character.
Yeah, which we did react to, and I'll leave a link to this one at the end of this video so you guys can go watch it.
Enough
if you missed it.
Well, there are also some characters that we didn't really talk about in that video. Granted, anybody who wasn't important enough to be featured in the every character tier list probably won't have too much time dedicated to them here. But anyway, this is also a bit more concise, right? Because if you watch that video, you have to sit there for, what is it, like 3 hours? And then
3 hours, 10 minutes, and I think it was like 52 seconds, if I remember correctly. Oh boy, yeah, that was a long video, and my video reacting to it was at least a little over 4 hours long. So just a warning, it is a 4 hour long video, so you might want to just sit back if you're going to watch it, which I really do appreciate if you do, but sit back, relax, because it is a long video.
just wait.
Or you can just go watch the original video if you want. It's available in the description of that video, the link to this video that you're seeing right here, this one, and also a link to this video that they're making right here. It gets a little confusing, will be available in the description, as well as a link to Swagkage's channel, as always.
Within like 30 minutes or something in this video. Anyway, I'm not alone. Today I have brought my friend with me, the same guy who helped me rank every Naruto character. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. It's your host, Six the Programmer. And yeah, this is just like a more concise way of ranking all the different Naruto characters. Like in the other video, it's 3 or so hours, you know, so kind of took a while to get to some of them. So yeah, This one's just a lot more concise,
Mm-hmm.
a lot easier to do.
Since they are just going to be focusing
off,
on just the Edo
number
Tensei.
40, we have Shin, and not the one you might be thinking of, not the one that fought Sakura.
No, that's
not the one with all the eyeballs on his body.
that's a different one. Yeah.
It is a non-Uchiha guy named Shin, and this
Yeah,
this
he
guy is
was
actually
Sai's friend.
he's here at the bottom.
Or
because
brother, yeah.
He's totally feetless. He doesn't really do.
Yeah, he doesn't really do anything.
He just gets turned into a bomb and then he gets sealed up. Now, like,
yeah,
the argument.
Well, the
that's
thing
really
is
strong
that
it's just that Kabuto did bring him back, but it's like for
that
what?
applies to literally everybody else here.
Yeah, so he's just the weakest of the strong. That's it.
Right. The thing is that they did mention him being feetless. Now, my biggest problem with that statement is that, they're feetless, so they're not really all that strong, is people sometimes use them in arguments, saying that, saying that, because this person's feetless, you can't really say that they're stronger than this person or that person, and so maybe they're not really all that strong. I don't really agree with that. I think that it's like the reason why they're feetless is mostly just because of the writer. Like maybe they just realize that, okay, maybe I do want to show how strong this character is, but I don't really have time because I need to focus more of my time on doing this because it'll help progress the story. Even though I want to do this, it's not really going to progress the story. Like for example, someone mentioned in the comments of, I think the most recent video that should be out on this channel, at least by the time I'm recording this video, the video that I reacted to, which was the 3-hour video ranking every Naruto character, someone said that EMS Sasuke is basically feetless in the war arc, and while I don't disagree, sometimes I've seen people use it to argue as to why Sasuke isn't really all that strong, at least when you compare him to characters like, let's say, Naruto or Hashirama, and Tobirama, Minato, Hiruzen, characters like that. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that just because Kishimoto didn't really give him any feats, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not strong. I mean, I've always believed that EMS Sasuke is relative to KCM2 Naruto. I know there's a lot of people out there who look at some of the things that KCM2 Naruto did and say, oh, it's I don't know, it's hard to believe. But no, I do genuinely believe that. Again, some people may disagree with me, but and that's understandable. However, I personally would put EMS Sasuke relative to KCM2 Naruto. And okay, one of the reasons why I say that is because in the fight against what was it? What was his name? Oh yeah, Obito, 10-tailed Jinchuriki Obito. Sasuke was keeping up with KCM2 Naruto with Sage Mode. Okay, not just regular KCM2 Naruto with Sage Mode. Now, some people might say, well, he had Jugo's power amping him, so that's the reason. Well, not necessarily. Well, yes, you could say that Jugo's chakra was amping him up. That is true. But if Sasuke was nowhere near as strong as KCM2 Naruto with Sage Mode, then he wouldn't have been able to do anything at all, even with Jugo's power amping him up. But Sasuke had to have been relative to Naruto to be able to do anything at all, even if he had Jugo's chakra to amp him up, which people might look at that and say, well, Sasuke, like when he had Jugo there, when Jugo added his power, it looked like Sasuke's curse mark, but it wasn't exactly like the curse mark. It was just Jugo, because his clan had the ability to just passively absorb natural energy. That was Sasuke absorbing, basically adding natural energy to his Susanoo, and it just, I think mostly, the reason why it looked like his curse mark pattern is that, personally, I think that it was mostly done for aesthetic reasons. And I know Orochimaru said that, I developed the curse mark thanks to Jugo's, thanks to Jugo's, thanks to Jugo's DNA. Like, that's where he got the idea from. But that doesn't necessarily mean that, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same as the power that Sasuke had when he did have the curse mark. You know what I mean? But anyway, this tangent's gone on long enough. Sorry about that. Let's just continue, because this video is already 30 minutes, and I don't want this video to be like to be like an hour and a half long.
So moving on. Next we have
EMS Sasuke is relative to KCM2 Naruto with stage 1. That's all I'm trying to say.
numbers 35 through 39. So this is the 5 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen that are like not Mangetsu or Zabusa. 6 and I didn't really feel like ranking them individually because honestly, actually honestly, who cares? You could probably, if you really studied them, figure out a way to put any one of them individually above some of the people who are above them on the list, but I like, who cares?
Exactly.
Right?
Like, I believe in the
Seven ninja
anime.
swordsmen.
In the anime, I think Kakashi fights some of them one-on-one, and maybe you could get some scaling through that. But in the manga, it's just not there. It's just like they all come back as a group. They're all this really just super strong subsect of the Edo Tensei army. But they're like the lowest ones, aside from Sai's useless brother.
They're basically just like Jonin level, like essentially. There's nothing about them
Excuse me.
that makes them seem substantially more powerful than that.
And the only thing to even like think that is, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the strongest generation of the 7 ninja swordsmen. But then even then, it excludes people like
Kisame, yeah.
Have Samehada. So I mean, them being this low on this specific list is perfectly fine.
This is numbers 33 through 34. So we have Pakura, the user of Scorch Release, Toroi, the user of Magnet Release, and Gari, the user of Explosion Release. So all 3 of these guys are mostly featless. They don't really do anything, but they do have a Kekkei Genkai.
They do.
Don't.
And it is stated that
both groups are featless, so I don't know.
And I think it is stated that in the Naruto universe, like if you have a Kekkei Genkai, it makes you an incredibly dangerous opponent in any scenario. And so them putting the Kekkei Genkai users over the 7 ninja swordsmen, then I think that just makes perfect sense.
I don't know, man. Like Gari's weapons are bigger.
I mean, it's just like when you compare quality of shinobi, right? So let's just say, for example, the 7 ninja swordsmen are all S-class shinobi. The Kekkei Genkai users would all be like S+ class, maybe Z class if you like Dragon Ball games. And then Zabuza does say Haku has a Kekkei Genkai. He considers Kekkei Genkai to be like this crazy power, because when he finds out Sasuke has one, he thinks, oh, well, he might be Haku's equal, even though we know Sasuke is not Haku's equal. So you could just say, like, quality of shinobi, these 3 should be maybe stronger than these other people, because they have built-in Kekkei Genkai, whereas the swords are like kind of their own in a way.
Pakura is also just running around like one-shotting people, and I know they're fodder ninja, but she just totally like melts them from the inside.
Just
right?
completely
like,
destroys them.
To be like a pretty serious threat in a way that some of the 7 swordsmen aren't. Again, this is kind of interchangeable. I would never like stay up all night fighting somebody about this or anything, but it just feels correct to have them above the swordsman. Next up, we have Chio.
Really?
And, dude, this is the weirdest one, I think.
Yeah. It's so strange.
Chio, as far as we're aware, feel free to correct us. We're going to look really stupid if this isn't the case. But pretty sure, after looking through it, that Chio does not actually use her puppets at any point that we know of in the manga. And so it's like what the fuck is she supposed to do? Like, that's her whole thing. She doesn't have any non-puppet jutsu that are combat relevant, I should say. I guess she can use the like reanimation thing to bring people back. Not Edo Tensei reanimation, the one she used to revive Gaara, but that doesn't really like, I don't see how that would help.
The only thing that I can think of that would give her an advantage in a fight is, well, obviously every shinobi has like the basic skill set, you know, taijutsu, a little bit of ninjutsu, maybe some genjutsu if you have an affinity for it. And then she did do that thing where she tied like the puppet strings to Sakura and she was controlling her. So I think that would be very useful in an ability. Or not an ability. I know what I'm saying. In a fight, it would be very useful in a fight. Damn it.
In a combat setting. So like, it's just that she's with people like Kimimaro and Hanzo, and knowing who Chio is and all the hype that she has as like somebody who regularly fought Hanzo and somebody who thought that she could kill the White Fang, it would feel weird to put her below like the Seven Swordsmen and stuff, because she's definitely implied to be around that like Sanin-ish level, especially in her prime, and she lived for a while, right? Like fighting all of those samurai and stuff.
Yeah.
Somehow, so she must have been strong or something, but like I just don't know how. This just feels like the correct place to put her, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to like talk about somewhere Chio might scale without her puppets, base Naruto does react to her at the beginning of the Kazekage rescue arc. Now, you can argue Chio gets stronger from this point when she gains like a bit of resolve back after fighting alongside Sakura. The data books sort of imply that. I'm just saying, like, Chio without puppets, she's not going higher than this at all.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I don't think she's.
Next up, we have Osuma. He's kind of interchangeable with the person that we have above him, but Osuma is just like solidly high Jonin level. I don't really know what this means for him, but he was a member of the Guardian Shinobi 12, which is, it's kind of like a nothing org in Naruto, right? Like we don't really know anything about the.
Yeah, we don't know anything about them. I mean,
like one of those like high tier Jonin from Konoha. Like he wasn't a nobody. People talked about him and respected him. He did fight Hidan, and granted, he had help, but he beat Hidan and decapitated him, which is pretty impressive. And it takes all of Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji working together. So Kakazu even hypes him up as well. Do you have anything else you want to say about Osuma?
No, not at all.
So next up we have Hizashi. He's strong. He's like one of the patriarchs of the Hyuga clan.
Yeah, we know he's strong.
Much, but like
that's the problem. Yeah, we don't really see him do anything.
High Jonin level.
I mean, we saw him, in the anime, we saw him trade blows with Hizashi, but we don't really see him do much after that.
High Jonin level. He's got the gentle fist, the Byakugan, so
yeah,
pretty good at hand-to-hand combat. That's why I have him above Zabuza. That's why I would put him above Zabuza. Not Zabuza, I mean Osuma. Oh my god.
Yeah. Speaking of, we actually have Zabuza right above him. Zabuza's strong, right? He's not like a monster or anything, but he's definitely like way stronger than the other Seven Swordsmen, because he actually fights Kakashi for an extended period in the manga. He loses. Like, it's kind of like a sound defeat, but he still fights him. Haku does eventually start helping him out, but like, you know, like the other Seven Swordsmen are not a threat.
Yeah, it's because of his Demon Mist aura. Like, Zabuza's got a base form and then like kind of a Super Saiyan transformation. So in part 1, we don't see Zabuza use his Demon Mist aura until he goes up against like Gato's goons at the very end. That's why people find it weird that in the war arc, Zabuza can like kind of keep up with Kakashi. Like, Kakashi definitely is stronger than him still, and he beats him. But they're like, oh, he was part 1 Kakashi level, so Kakashi's gotten no stronger. It's not that.
No.
That in the war arc, Kabuto made Zabuza activate his Demon Mist aura almost.
Also, it's kind of implied that Kabuto basically improved the reanimation jutsu that he learned from working for Orochimaru. And so you could kind of say that this, like, the reanimations, they're brought back as basically stronger versions of themselves. You see what I mean? It's like, you could say that this Zabuza is stronger than the Zabuza that we saw in part 1. That's why he was able to keep up with Kakashi, even though Kakashi's a lot stronger now than he was in part 1.
Almost instantly. So Zabuza was able to land like that cheap shot on Kakashi through Haku like he was unwilling to do before. So yeah, that's it. It's just Zabuza's pretty strong.
Next up, we have Mangetsu. So it's either directly stated or implied very heavily that Mangetsu is the strongest member of the 7 ninja swordsmen. He's capable of wielding all 7 swords very effectively. He's related to Suigetsu and Gengetsu, who are both exceptionally strong. Suigetsu's not like a top tier or anything, but he does live through being like lasered to the face by bees.
Yeah, he took a Biju blast to the face and he still survived.
Mangetsu feels like it feels like people think he's almost stronger than Suigetsu is.
Yeah, definitely in Kisame's eyes. And Kisame thinks Suigetsu is like a child prodigy.
Next up, we have Haku, which, like, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by this. He was definitely going above Zabuza because Zabuza says himself repeatedly, many, many times, that Haku is stronger than he is.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people contest this. They're like, oh, but Sasuke hit Haku and Naruto beat, like...
Okay, sorry, wait, I just remembered something. Okay, yeah, sorry, I made a mistake earlier. I said that this version of Zabuza, like the Edo Tensei, well, not this one, this is part 1 Zabuza, but the Zabuza that we saw earlier in the video, you know, fighting Kakashi, the Edo Tensei, going by Kabuto's statement that he made the Edo Tensei better than, or they're more improved than the ones that Orochimaru made, like let's say when he brought back the first and second Hokage, like he basically got better at using the reanimation, so his reanimations are better than what Orochimaru could do. And I thought that meant that they were stronger than they were when they were alive, which is obviously not true because it stated that the Edo Tenseis aren't as strong as the person was when they were alive. So like Madara, the reason why they wanted to stop him from coming back to life is because if that happens, he'll regain the strength that he had when he was alive, and then they would basically all be screwed, even though Madara was already strong enough as is. So yeah, that was just, disregard what I said. I made a mistake. That was, yeah, so they had it right. Like that Zabuza, like maybe he was able to keep up with Kakashi, even though he's stronger than the Kakashi that beat him in part 1. Well, no, wait, let me say that again. Zabuza was fighting Kakashi, even though this Kakashi is stronger than the Kakashi from part 1. That's what I meant to say. Got a little, I'm a little bit confused today. Sorry about that.
Haku wasn't trying.
Yeah, Haku stopped trying. Also, Naruto's bridge amp was like crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was it crazy, by that point Haku like admits he weakened himself by using the ice mirror for so long. Because he was just like playing around with Naruto and Sasuke, you know, hitting him with his needles and whatnot, just holding back. And then he held back for so long, it was just, he got weakened and Naruto was able to get the upper hand on him.
Which is interesting they brought this up because this is something that you see happen a lot in the Naruto universe. Like it's almost like Kishimoto's trying to say something with these characters who go into a fight being incredibly overconfident and they always end up losing. Like this is something, again, you've seen, or you end up seeing all over Naruto. Anytime, and I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but whenever someone goes into a fight and they're incredibly overconfident, it always comes back to bite them. Always.
And whatnot, just holding back. And then he held back for so long, it was just, he got weakened and Naruto was able to get the upper hand on him. So when you take into account Zabuza's demon mist aura and the fact that him and Kakashi in part 1, they're like sort of relative, right? Kakashi's definitely on the higher end, but with the demon mist aura, he can supposedly get relative again to War Art Kakashi. It just should just put in perspective for you just how strong Haku can get.
Well, I mean, like he straight up just blitzes Kakashi.
Yeah, Raikiri Kakashi.
Next up, we have Don. So
this one was weird. This one was weird to do. So Don has this spirit moving technique, whatever. And there's this one feat where he kind of,
it's so
he kind of
crazy, dude.
He kind of outspeeds Madara. It's a little weird. He outspeeds Madara. He moves Tsunade out the way, and then not only does he outspeed Madara, and it's weird because like Don got clapped by just random Jonin way back.
Don't even know who they are.
So
not named or anything.
So it's not like Dan is always super strong. So maybe it's just
Well, maybe
his,
you
like,
could say
spirit
it's
vision
it's
thing.
only
You
when
didn't
this.
even get into
Whatever.
the craziest thing that he did.
Yeah. And then that's ignoring the other part that makes this weird, which is after he saves Tsunade, he completely reheals her 100 healings mark. He brings it all the way back. And we know that that mark, it has to have a certain amount of chakra to even appear on the forehead. Sakura was doing it for 3 years.
Yeah, she's been gathering
He could
chakra
be
for
way
3 whole
higher, but,
years.
like, I don't know. He's definitely above everybody who's below him. I mean, but maybe he's not. Like, maybe Haku would clap him up, but, like, would he? So next up, we have Kakazu, whose ass, he sucks. He is the weakest of the Akatsuki.
His best feat is just beating pain. So 24 is a good spot for him. Multi-continental.
Oh, Jesus
In
Christ.
all seriousness, the reason that we have Kakazu here at number 24 and not higher is because I think it's very funny to downplay Kakazu. Me personally, I've started getting really attached to the idea that he and Hidan are the weakest Akatsuki duo.
Are they?
If you guys
Well-
are interested, I can make a video where I discuss this in more detail at some point in the future.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Now, like, if I'm being
Excuse
totally
me.
real with you guys, would I say that it is unfair and definitely indicative of bias that Kakazu is below Sorcery with no puppets? Would I say that, I'm just being petty and dicking around and trolling? No, I would never say that. But
But is it true?
well, if it was, I would never say so. So, next up at number 23, we have Sorcery. Now,
Really?
this is extremely, like, extra, ultra weird because Sorcery doesn't have his puppets or his puppet body.
But he can control other people. Kankuro might just be heat.
Yeah, I mean, Kankuro also does have Sorcery's puppet body, who, I mean, let's be real, is probably Sorcery's best puppet.
Yeah.
I don't see why that wouldn't be the case. And Sorcery's 100 puppets were, like, fighting Chikamatsu's 10, which were, like, the strongest puppets ever made. So it's probably, like, Sorcery's body might be, like, the Excalibur of Naruto puppets. And Kankuro does capture Datara, so it's like you said, he might just be heat. Datara's up next at number 22. So normally Datara would be beneath Sorcery on a list like this, but Sorcery is, like, nerfed to such a ridiculous extent that it would be really, really, really unfair of me to not say he's higher. Like, no puppets, no puppet body, no third Kazekage stand. Yes, Datara is probably beating this version.
Yeah, he doesn't have any of his most
Like,
powerful
being in a
weapons.
fight, maybe not because Datara can't seal anyone, but, like,
Yeah.
overpowering, definitely.
Yeah.
Because Datara at this point, he's willing to use C0 if it comes to it, and he can just regenerate from it.
So next up, this is gonna be weird to some people.
Kimimaro.
But we have Kimimaro. So he just sits there and fights KCM Naruto for, like, a really long, like, extended period of time. And the Ceiling Corp right there.
And in the anime, we do get that Kimimaro, like, dodged the Rasen Shuriken, and a little bit of quantification for the sickness. They implied that if Kimimaro was with them when they attacked Hiruzen, they would have just smoothed 100% victory.
Next up, number 20, we have Hanzo.
Yeah, dude, Kimimaro, I think, is probably one of the most underrated characters in the series. Not to say he's one of the strongest, but I think that he is definitely not someone to be looked down on when it comes to strength, because he is pretty damn strong. It just sucks that we never got to see more of him, actually fighting. Because I do wonder, would things have been different if Kimimaro was alive and he was there when Sasuke was training with Orochimaru? Maybe him and Sasuke would have trained, and if Sasuke was training against someone that's strong, then it's possible Sasuke would have been a lot stronger when him and Naruto met up later on in Shippuden. because again, in the Naruto universe, it's a lot like any other shonen series. Like if you fight or train with someone stronger, someone who's either as strong or stronger than you, you get exponentially stronger, more than you would if you were just training on your own. Now, Sasuke did have Orochimaru, but it's never really implied that Orochimaru directly trained him. I mean, he did teach him jutsu, obviously, but Orochimaru also, you could say, wasn't necessarily at his best because he was using a borrowed body, and it was near the end of the whole 3 year thing where he would need to where he would need to switch to another body. So you could say that Orochimaru probably wasn't really at his best. Like he was using a body that was just available, not really the best, that he had at the time. So, or not well, no. Let me say that again. I didn't mean not the best that he had at the time, because he did like pit all of his prisoners against each other, and the surviving one, he took over that body. So technically, I guess you could say it was the best he had at the time because Sasuke wasn't there. But what I meant to say earlier was not really his best option is what I meant to say. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I do wonder if Kimimaro was there and if he was healthy, if he wasn't sick, then maybe things would have probably been a lot different.
So this guy could,
well, maybe not a lot, at least a little bit different.
If he was at full power, but like it's implied that over the course of his life he got way weaker, and that like this happening to him is actually the reason Pain was able to beat him. So like this is not prime Hanzo that we're talking about. This is like some weird, like weak, quote unquote no conviction nerf Hanzo.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But he fights Mifune and loses, and a lot of people think that this makes Hanzo fodder, but like Mifune's not actually weak because Mifune fought full power Hanzo, and Hanzo said that like he wasn't able to make any mistakes when fighting Mifune.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We know that full power Hanzo has that crazy feat where he fought a whole platoon of Leaf Ninja, which included the Sannin, and when the Sannin were the only survivors, he gave them their title for managing to live through a fight against him, right? So he's definitely like really strong at full power. But this version of Hanzo just gets like beat up and bullied in a few seconds and doesn't really do anything else aside from that. So it's like it's hard to justify putting him higher. Next up, this so we have an order for this, but this isn't like the order isn't particularly important. So numbers 14 through 19, we have the 6 Jinchuriki that Obito was controlling as his new 6 paths of pain. So if you want to know our order for them, we have Han first because he kicked Naruto in the face, and also Boil Release gets hyped up like crazy. Then
Too hyped up in my opinion.
B talks about her like there's all these statements about how B looks up to her and stuff like that. Roshi,
in what way though?
Actually damages Naruto by burning
Well,
him.
Again, like I gotta ask, like he looks up to her in what way? I mean, it looks up to her as in she's someone stronger than him that he studied under, or just like he looks up to her in a more respectful way, like she embodies what he believes a shinobi should be. You know what I mean? Or what he believes a shinobi is. Like she embodies all of that. That's why he looks up to her. So again, like I guess I'm asking for the context. Like he looks up to her in what way?
Then next we put Yagura just because he's like Mizukage. Then after that we have Fu because she dodges KCM Naruto, and then last Utakata because he doesn't have any feats. It is a very, very tenuous, like not set in stone ranking that could be wildly different if any minor events in the fight had been different. But
the only outlier would be that Han can activate Boil Release, which should put him in like a different tier. But that's not something he can always have on, right?
yeah,
so,
exactly.
So he's definitely in the spot he belongs.
So next up we have Kinkaku and Ginkaku. These guys are lame, but they're definitely like really, really strong. If we wanted to be dickheads, we could put them above Tobirama, but we're not gonna do that.
No.
So, like, these guys are kind of weird. On one hand, they critically injured Tobirama and the second Raikage together. Then, on the other hand, they get tagged by Shikamaru and Choji.
So these guys are definitely strange, and it's like, okay, when we look at the Tobirama feats, they both have context. So the first time they left him near death, but they were launching surprise attacks. So maybe they were like Nine Tails mode, blowing Biju bombs at him in the second Raikage, and that's what left him in that state of like near death. Then the second time, we see that Tobirama and Hiruzen and all them, they have these battle scratches on them. So they were possibly already in a fight. Maybe Tobirama was like fatigued or something. Then he goes and engages not only with them, but 18 other people. So maybe they don't scale to him. Maybe Tobirama was fatigued, he got jumped, and they killed him that way. Now, you could make an argument that in the
Also, sorry, just one thing I'd like to say right here is I think this, this is during the, this was during the Sasuke and Danzo fight, this flashback. And we also got to see right here, we got to see this is Kagami Uchiha, in case anyone didn't know. And I also like that he gets referenced later on when Sasuke has Orochimaru bring back the four Kage, and Hiruzen mentions that Kagami Uchiha was the ancestor of Shisui Uchiha. I really like I like that Kishimoto actually thought of him. Like, he wasn't just some random character he thought up out of nowhere, that he actually had a story, and that we find out later on he's related to Shisui, and Shisui was, of course, Itachi's best friend, and by that, I guess you could say, has a bit of a connection to Sasuke. I really like that. Anyway, back to the video. Or back to where we were.
Maybe Tobirama was fatigued, he got jumped, and they killed him that way. Now, you could make an argument that in the second fight, Tobirama managed to get away because they have his body in the leaf. But at the same time, you could make the argument that they just beat him and left him slump on like a tree or something, and they just went and recovered his body. So
I think Six and I would agree that they're probably not beating the guys above them, which are like kind of implied almost certainly to be the cream of the crop for Kabuto's reanimations. With a few exceptions, and that is the four Kage, not the Hokage, but the third Raikage, the second Tsuchikage, second Mizukage, and fourth Kazekage.
Yes,
now,
sir.
This is a group that you can rank together as a group, but I think that it is much, much easier to rank them all together here. So I would say that Rasa, the fourth Kazekage, is number 11. Mu and Gengetsu are tied at number 9 and 10, and the third Raikage is the strongest out of the four.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely also make like a shonen villain argument, like they get taken down in a specific order to say one is stronger than the other. Now, we know Mu doesn't actually get taken down, but he gets split in half, and when he's split in half, he doesn't do anything else after that. So
he
what?
basically just acts as like a recon man to talk to Madara. So
yeah, exactly. So Mu and Gengetsu literally just killed each other, so they have to be relative. It sucks because Gengetsu is so lame, but they have to be relative. And Rasa, like I said, it would just follow with that shonen villain-esque argument I gave earlier.
At number 7, right above A the third, we have Hiruzen.
Hiruzen, really?
So,
He's number 7.
I think that everybody can pretty unanimously agree that the Hokage are just all stronger than the rest of the Kage.
Mm-hmm.
So I also think everybody agrees that Old Man Hiruzen probably the weakest of the four. Some people, I mean, this answer actually varies. What everyone does agree is that the weakest isn't Hashirama.
Well, obviously, yeah.
All of the other three are the weakest. I've heard people who think Tobirama's the weakest, Hiruzen's the weakest, Minato's the weakest.
No.
But I think that most people agree that it's Hiruzen.
And again, that's not a knock against Hiruzen. It's just that the rest are so insanely strong. Like Hashirama, of course, like Hashirama makes sense why he's so strong. I mean, him being a reincarnate of Ashura, understandable why he would be so goddamn strong. And of course, again, when you think about all of the advantages, the hacks abilities that he has, well, for one thing, the insane amount of chakra that he's born with, being of course a member of the Senju, which of course Tobirama would also be another one of them, which is why he has like an insane amount of chakra. Maybe not as much as Hashirama, but still a lot. Definitely more than the average shinobi. And then of course Minato, I mean, he's like, I think Minato's feats kind of speak for themselves. I mean, if he hadn't died so young, he would have probably gone on to become incredibly strong. Like Minato, I think was still in his like early 20s when he died. Yeah, like he died pretty young. I mean, there's a lot of characters in Naruto who, or at least some of the main characters in Naruto who, if you think about it, they kind of died really young. I mean, Minato and Itachi definitely. Itachi was only 21 years old when he died, which is insane. There are other members of the Uchiha clan who were also pretty young when they got slaughtered. I mean, yeah, like when you think about it in the Naruto world, like there's a lot of people who kind of, you know, meet their end when they're pretty young. But yeah, again, like to go back to what I was saying, that's not a knock against me or not a knock against Hiruzen. Hiruzen is definitely strong. Hiruzen's not a joke. I think we also watched a video by Seth where he went over just how strong the third Hokage Hiruzen actually is. And it's like he is stated to be the strongest of the 5 Kage when he was alive, and that was him when he was old. So that's a way past his prime Hiruzen, and yet he was still considered the strongest of the 5 Kage. So when he was in his prime, he was definitely a lot stronger, because obviously, like, you get, you know, you're not as strong as you were when you were in your prime. You know, that's just normal. So yeah, it's again, like, Hiruzen, he's strong. I don't want people to go out there saying like, oh, he's weak. No, he's not. He is. He's very strong. It's just that when you compare him to Minato, Hashirama, Tobirama, it's just that he like, he doesn't look good by comparison. That's it.
That's definitely the
Especially
more
old
common
Minato.
ranking. Like the common ranking is Hashirama, then Minato, then Tobirama, then Hiruzen.
Some people, some of you sickos out there, put Tobirama right below Hashirama and right above Minato, but that's,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I know y'all, but I know you watching the video right now. You're smarter than that. You don't think that.
And the real, like, you know, high IQ people out there put Minato over Hashirama. But that's, you know, we don't need to talk
We're
about
not gonna
that.
do that. No.
No. Yeah, Minato's not above
Below Tobirama is
Hashirama.
I mean, so it's like, the thing about these guys is they only really fight Jubito, who bodies them the whole time. So it's kind of hard to compare them. But the reason for Tobirama being above Hiruzen is he does have that 1 feat of teleporting into, like, Jubito and, like, blowing him up with his own Truth Seeker orb, which is like,
Nice. But I always like this little touch that Kishimoto did right here, where the Truth Seeking Orb was about to explode. You see Sasuke immediately put the Susanoo around Naruto, even though he already had his like his Kyuubi Chakra cloak on, so he, like, his durability obviously goes up whenever he's got the Kyuubi Chakra cloak up, and yet Sasuke still puts the Susanoo hand around him, which kind of leaves him a little bit defenseless. It just goes to show you that, again, what I've said for a long time. Sasuke may keep telling himself he wants to get rid of Naruto, but deep down he never actually wanted to. And this right here is just proof of it.
and like, which is like, yeah, like that's kind of blatantly better than anything Hiruzen pulls off. So I'd say that I'm pretty comfortable with Tobirama being above him. It also just feels right, I guess.
Yeah.
But you could switch them around if you
To
wanted.
be fair,
But I think
Jubito does block that attack with the True Seeker.
yeah, I know. I agree. I don't think it's like an actual like blitz or anything.
Yeah.
Also, we've discussed this before. Minato is like mental nerve, so But like,
Yeah,
it's
when he discovers that it's Obito, like he kind of mentally nerfs himself because he's feeling guilty over the fact that he wasn't able to protect Obito, and now look at what happened to him. So yeah, it's the same thing that happened with Hiruzen when he was supposed to fight Orochimaru the first time, because even though Orochimaru was doing obviously like unspeakable, human experimentation, he he still like at the time couldn't not see him as his student, and that sort of like mentally nerfed him, which is in the Naruto universe that is a thing. Like if you're not there mentally, it does severely weaken you, and you're not capable of you're not capable of performing to the best of your abilities.
still pretty impressive to like get in there at all.
Yep.
So Hiruzen at 7, Tobirama at 6.
Excuse
now
me.
this is the part of the video that's gonna get us killed. Like people are gonna come to where we live. But above Tobirama, we have Nagato and Itachi. Now, this has been a subject of much debate for a very long time. This seems like such a niche fight, but it's actually a pretty heated debate in the community about who would win, Nagato or Itachi. And now, before any of you, you know who you are, you sickos, you pieces of shit in the comments say, well, they already fought. Why are you talking about a fight that already happened? At number 5, we have Nagato.
Okay.
And at number 4,
Really?
Itachi. Now Itachi being this high, Itachi and Nagato being this high, I should say, and like above Tobirama and Hiruzen might seem like ultra capped to some people, but I don't think so. I could see Nagato beating them up. Like, Nagato is insanely strong.
He is, yeah.
So is Itachi, especially as Edo's. Like, Nagato getting hit by a full force lariat and just not taking any damage and then absorbing all of B's chakra on contact in like seconds. Like, it's instant, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing that I would say is the reason why he didn't take any damage is because from the beginning he had like the Prey Path active, because normally like if you read, I think this is both in the anime and the manga, or maybe this is like an anime only thing, but whenever the Prey Path is active, you can see like a barrier around them, and any chakra that touches it immediately gets absorbed. So you could say that Nagato already put the barrier up on him, which would still be impressive because like he managed to outpaced Eight Tails B, which is insane. Like he outpaced him and he was able to put up the barrier quicker than he was able to hit him, which would still make him pretty impressive, which still shows you how impressive Nagato is, that he was able to do that before B was even able to touch him. And then of course that's when B made contact, and then his chakra just kept getting immediately absorbed.
Yeah.
Like,
At least that's what I think happened. Maybe you guys disagree.
one sec he's getting punched, the next second. Like, I mean, it's like panel to panel, you see B just lose the cloak. Like, he takes all that chakra so fast. So,
yeah. And then Itachi like
yeah, the anime made it seem like it was a lot slower, but the manga, like it you can see how quickly B lost the chakra cloak.
Anyway, Itachi, I mean, like, yeah, Itachi does actually fight Nagato, and then he goes on and beats Kabuto in a fight. Whether or not you think Tobirama or Hiruzen could beat Itachi or Nagato, I guess, is up to you. But I feel pretty comfortable putting him up here because he has all that crazy bullshit. Like, he has the Yada mirror, he has the Totsuka blade, he has Yasuka beads, he has Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, and he can use all this shit infinitely, right?
Yeah, like he won't go blind like last time, and he's not sick this time.
And Nagato kind of speaks for himself. All of the abilities of the 6 Paths of Pain, the Soul Steal, the speed to keep up with KCM, Naruto, and B. Like, these guys are monsters. And, yeah, all I'm saying is in Storm 3, super reliable source, of course, Kabuto does say that Nagato is his second strongest summon. So,
okay.
you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm guessing number 1 would be Madara.
fucking like monster territory. Like these are the unstoppable.
Yeah, this is when we get into the downright ridiculous,
Like this
just
is probably like
stupid strong.
triple S tier. I'd say at number 3 we have Minato. This guy is fucking absurd as an Edo.
Yeah.
Like he's Minato, who's already like insane and
Who was already insanely, yeah.
plus a whole KCM like buff.
So you want to know some insane shit Minato did?
Yeah.
Minato outsped one of his own flying Raijin.
Wait, how'd he do that?
So when Minato grabs the Ten Tails bomb, he teleports it away, right? Then he throws a kunai and teleports back before the bomb lands and explodes.
That's so crazy. Yeah, you're totally right. I remember exactly what you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about too.
Not
So, I
saying
mean, like-
Minato can move faster than an instant, but he can probably, like, flying Raijin might not actually be complete teleportation.
I mean, he
could
can't
probably just
not
do
move
that.
faster than an instant based on that.
I'm just saying
He does
it's
have that
something he
Madara
does.
feat where he like intercepts an attack from Madara in base. So, 6 paths Madara. So, maybe
Yeah, like he wasn't even in Sage
a bit
mode.
higher.
Well-
I would never say that. I would never say Minato.
Wait, wasn't that kunai thrown by Lee?
Could be base Madara or Hashirama, but he did do that thing that somebody who could beat them would be capable of doing. But I'm not saying that he's stronger than them. I would never say that. That would be ridiculous. Even though he did
Yeah.
that thing that kind of implies that he is. But I'm not saying.
Yeah, see, it was thrown by Lee.
Anyway, number 2, we have Madara. Begrudgingly, I do not have him at number 1 because he does lose that fight against Hashirama.
Yeah. Well, we talked about
So-
it before recording. It's either Madara lost or it was a tie. And
Yeah.
Madara was under a wood dragon, then subsequently the deity gates.
Mm-hmm.
And Hashirama had rods in his back, but he could still move around. So
Which was
kinda
weird.
more Hashirama W.
Like that kind of like that to me doesn't really make a lot of sense because those rods are supposed to disrupt your chakra and you basically can't move. So I've always wondered like why, like how the hell was Hashirama still able to move even though he already like stabbed him with a bunch of those chakra rods. And what's even weird is that later on when Madara got brought back to life, he absorbed Hashirama's sage chakra, and all of a sudden Hashirama couldn't move anymore until like the chakra rods got removed. So I don't know, it just seems a little bit weird.
even with the tie.
Yeah. Now, if you actually need it explained to you why Madara is like here, like not below Hashirama, but like above everyone else, like if you need, like why is he above Tobirama? Like,
Dude,
Like,
come on. Yeah, come on. What the hell? Like, did you not read?
We're
he's
using
the
that
story.
smacking everyone below him. Except
Did you not
Haruhi.
watch the anime?
Well, I would never say that, of course.
yeah.
Well, Minato would be a little bit.
smacking Minato, even though Minato has that feat of intercepting an attack from him when he's in 6 paths mode. But Minato probably can't beat him. You know, I'd never
Yeah.
say that Minato could beat him. But yeah, so like again, if you need like Madara versus Itachi explained to you in 2022, like
It's no.
Itachi do have the Yadamir though.
that shit is getting smacked by the perfect Susanoo.
Yeah, it's the Yada mirror may not be destroyed, but I think that just the force of that attack would blow Itachi like here, basically. Like he'd be here and then he'd be over there, and then he'd have to travel all the way back. So yeah, as much as I like Itachi, I don't see him standing up to a hit from Madara's perfect Susanoo. I don't see it happening.
He's about his little Madara sword is just gonna bounce off the Yadamir.
Definitely not. The force is going to blow through the Susanoo, and Itachi's just gonna go flying. Still in the Susanoo, like he won't take damage, but the like concussive force will just knock him back into a mountain. Then finally, next up at number 1, Shocking no one, Hashi.
Yeah.
Not a controversial pick.
Yeah, I don't think, no.
Guy has the true thousand hands.
Which is
wood clones, sage mode. Like,
bro showed up and subdued the Ten Tails.
yeah.
I still want to know where the hell he learned this. Like, where? Because I looked at the data books because I wanted to finally know, like, okay, where, like, what is this? What form of sage mode is he using? And I looked at the data books and there was something. Well, actually, no, it wasn't the data books. That was something else, which I'm not going to use. But I don't think there's anything in the data books that says what this is. So, like, we still have no idea what form of sage mode is Hashirama using. I mean, it can't be Toad sage mode because he doesn't have the Toad slats. And he doesn't have the no, I mean, he has the pigmentation, but he doesn't have the Toad slats, and he it can't be Snake Senjutsu because he doesn't have the the snake eyes. He doesn't have them. So, like, what is it? What form of sage mode is he using? And how can he just go in and out of it like it's nothing?
Not
like just almost instantaneously he goes into sage mode, whereas opposed to everyone else, like Naruto still has to like do the whole sitting still thing and gathering natural energy, but Hashirama can just go into it like no problem.
like, yeah, you get it. So this was kind of a messy video, but I think it was good. I had fun. So
It was a fun video.
Subscribe to the channel, of course, and if you're not, but this is your first time seeing Six on the channel, or maybe it's not, but you haven't done this yet, check out his channel. Link to it will be in the description below. He makes fantastic content.
Bye.
I'm trying to think of a good like segue out of here, but like
Jesus. Just say
goodbye.
Yeah, just
yeah.
just all right. So okay, I'm guessing that's the end of the video. Okay, yeah. So that's the end of the video. There you go, guys. Let me just put this aside. Hold on. All right, there you go. All right, so that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I mean, I think I think we can agree with most of the placements on this list. I know people are going to be discussing the whole Nagato and Hitachi, where they are in the list. Although, personally, again, considering what we've seen Nagato and Hitachi do, it's kind of hard to argue. I mean, they were keeping up with two perfect Jinchurikis at the same time. Well, actually, no, sorry, Naruto wasn't a perfect Jinchuriki yet. He did become one in the war arc when he decided to open the cage, and him and Kurama were officially working together. They weren't fighting anymore. So yeah. Anyway, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys, as always. And if you're here, consider leaving a like, sharing, subscribing. Make sure to hit the bell for notifications, and I hope you really enjoyed the video, guys. And as always, if you have any recommendations, just let me know about them in the comment section down below. I hope you continue to support me in the future, and I hope I see you as well for my next video. Bye for now.